They're light years apart in styling. There's the puffy four-door, two-tone 1951 Pontiac Chieftain that belongs to Laurie and David Canty of Torrington, Connecticut. And there's their 1966 Pontiac GTO convertible that looks so much newer, even though there's only a 15-year gap. They've owned the four-door Chieftain since 2018, and Laurie is designated driver.
It's very hard to see over this steering wheel that's this big. And it's a very different drive because it's so big, you have to plan your corner. So it hasn't become a fun ride yet, but maybe someday. I get very nervous driving it.
Part of the problem back in early October 2022 was a bulky automatic transmission that wouldn't shift into third gear.
I feel like I don't know the car yet. We've had it for a long time, we've been working on it, but it hasn't been on the road much. So I don't know her idiosyncrasies, like what, and she has an issue with third gear. So it's a little nerve-wracking, like, okay, how's she gonna act? How's it gonna be? How much traffic is there? Am I gonna fit through there?
The two-door GTO arrived in 2020. Dave calls the 66 Goat his favorite car of all time and traces his affection for old cars to his youth.
Little kid, 10 years old, I lived by a car club people may know as the Mill Rockers down in East Litchfield. And I was fortunate enough to live in that area. I got connected with these guys. I was a little kid on a bicycle, went over and started helping on cars and just got very interested.
His early interest enables him to roll up his sleeves now. Both the Chieftain and the GTO needed attention upon arrival. The Chieftain was just a victim of age.
I really had to dress up everything. Interior was old. Everything was 70 years old. Did a lot of work on it underneath, stripped it down, all the paint. Windows came out, so did a lot of cleanup work. Mechanically, it was pretty sound.
For the GTO, Dave went under the hood and inside.
I did a lot of cleanup on the engine, had a lot of oil leaks, new interior, different wiring, had to do more work on the wiring. The wiring was functional, but not correct. So I stripped it down pretty well.
Besides the Chieftain and the GTO, the Cantys have one other classic car that they bought long ago, back in 1984. It's a 1975 Volkswagen Beetle, but it's only been on the road for 20 years.
It was a project car, and then a house, 2 babies. It was all in boxes, but then finally started working on it. Did a lot of work on that, top to bottom, put it back together. It's a nice, clean little Volkswagen.
It was in pieces years ago when the kids were little, and it was a family project. I mean, the kids were 2 and 4, so that one is never leaving the family. Our kids would disown us.
It's the Chieftain, though, that's visually stimulating with loads of chrome and a look and feel that's very much of its time.
I expected it to be a weird drive because it is so old and there's no power steering, and you push a button to start the car, you don't turn a key, and so I don't think anything surprised me about it, other than people's reactions to it.
And it does get spectator reaction at car shows.
They love this car. They love the color. They love the chrome. They love the Indian on the front. Then they find out it lights up and they get so excited. And I think they see a lot of muscle cars, but they don't often see a lot of cars like this.
Dave's simply pleased to have the GTO.
It took me 66 years to buy that, though. I retired. It came available a month after I retired, and I said, why not? And my wife allowed me to buy it.
But don't look for them to buy any more classic cars.
I'm done. I'm really done with cars. I really am. I have what I like and a good combination of things to drive. So, yeah, I'm done. And I'm getting a little too old to work on them now, too. Getting up and down on the ground is not as easy as it used to be.
That's Ride Connecticut. I'm Bud Wilkinson. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to Ride Connecticut's YouTube channel.